EV videos are coming fast and furious now, and this is the first all-electric SUV from Honda. Gets 300 miles of range. This is the Honda Prologue.
Feast your eyes on it first. Holy smokes, that color is a stunner. It's also a bit on the tough-looking side. Designers call it neo-rugged. Sure, but it's a bit lower than you might expect of a crossover. That is for aerodynamics. Also for aero are these cutouts in front of the wheels. It doesn't break any major boundaries or reach too far outside of the current crossover box, but guys, it's kind of sexy in like a quiet, understated way. And look at that sweet Honda badging on the back end. Yes, do that with all the things.
I remember seeing the concept of the Prologue and thinking that it looked kind of futuristic and cool, and I do think that the designers have integrated some of that into the production car. Either way, I do think that this actually fits in with Honda's current lineup, so if you are a loyal Honda buyer, this should suit you just fine.
Speaking of that Honda lineup, the Prologue is the exact size of the Passport, just lower, so that should give you an idea of where this slots in. Trim levels include the base EX, which is expected to cost somewhere in the high $40,000 range. We don't have exact numbers yet. There's also a Touring and Elite trim level, which feels very normally Honda. No guesstimates on those prices yet. However, we can imagine top trims getting into the $50,000 or $60,000 range.
I want to point out this wheelbase. This is a super long wheelbase, especially for a vehicle that's this size. This is a longer wheelbase than what you get on the Honda Odyssey. And you know what a long wheelbase means? That means a generous interior. So let's take a look inside.
Moving inside, I am an instant fan. I love how this looks, from the layout of the center stack and the dash to the openness of the cabin to the seats. Oh, this just looks really good. Also, is it just me or do those seats look like super cool robots or stormtroopers?
Remember what I said about long wheelbase means generous interior? Well, second row seating proves that. This is my seating position up here. You can see how much room I have. I know I'm basically biting the steering wheel when I drive, but there is a lot of room back here, and even with the low profile, you still do get generous headroom. I'm gonna scoot over here so you can also come in and see that this middle seat, you get no tube here, so you have a lot of floor space. They've indented this center seat just a little bit to also account for extra headroom. So I think Honda's done a really good job being super inventive back here with space. They've always been really good at that, and the Prologue continues that theme.
There are options for different colorways and accent stitching. You can get a memory driver's seat, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and auto-dimming mirrors. There's really a lot of the same functionality and feature set on this EV that exists on your gas-powered Honda, so nothing will come as a massive surprise when it comes to the interior. Cargo space doesn't feel shortchanged behind the rear seats. Behind that second row, you're looking at 57.7 cubic feet, which looks generous, and you get plenty of cup holders and interior cubbies.
It's undisputed that there will be a ton of tech in here. I mean, listen, for an EV these days, that is the price of entry.
An 11-inch instrument panel comes standard on all trims, as does an 11.3-inch touchscreen for features like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as Google built-in. These features help you connect really easily with your phone and integrate you with the Googleverse for features like Maps and Google Assist.
They did work directly with Google, so when you map out a destination for a road trip, you will be able to find chargers along the way. Even if that's a DC fast charger, it's going to map all of that stuff out for you. I think that's a really handy feature.
Safety features are aplenty here with the Honda Sensing Suite standard. Plus, you get an addition of rear cross-traffic braking, blind zone steering assist, and rear pedestrian alert. There will be available upgrades to the audio system, and the Prologue will allow over-the-air updates for when new features become available.
This is a joint venture between Honda and GM, so the Prologue does ride on the Ultium platform. Of course, that is scalable, so they've obviously used sort of the smaller version than like the Hummer EV did. You're going to get a single 85 kilowatt hour battery that powers either one or two motors. If you are going for the single motor, that is going to be up at the front, so basically making this a front wheel drive vehicle. If you get the dual motor, one will be in the rear, making it an all-wheel drive vehicle. We don't have power numbers yet on the single motor option, but on dual option, power numbers look pretty good. 288 horsepower, 333 pound-feet of torque.
The Prologue, we're told, gets full one-pedal driving thanks to this paddle shifter on the left of the steering wheel. Amen, guys. This is the same braking system that's on the Chevy Bolt, and it's brilliant. This makes me exceedingly happy. Recharging the battery can be done with a DC fast charger up to 155 kilowatts. That will get you about 65 miles of range in 10 minutes. If you're looking for more charge, from 20 to 80% should take about 35 minutes. Those are super competitive times.
In addition to eventually being able to use the Tesla charging network, Honda will pitch in with some options as far as getting you set up and installed at home, and also there will be some public charging refund options.
You'll have the options of items like these crazy 21-inch wheels, super big for a Honda, a head-up display, heated front seats, power tailgate, and a panoramic sunroof that also gets a shade, so it's not just that hot glass that's cooking everybody inside. If you're cross-shopping EVs, take a look at the Nissan Ariya, Kia EV6, Hyundai Ioniq 5, the VW ID4, or the Subaru Solterra. Like I said, they're coming fast and furious now, folks.
If and when you're ready to buy, click on the link above. Kelley Blue Book can help you find a fair purchase price on the Prologue or any other vehicle that Honda or anyone else makes. If you were expecting your electric vehicle to look like something out of the Jetsons, you might honestly be a little bit disappointed, but I really do think that the Prologue from Honda does a really nice job of looking very future forward and is still something that is very familiar. We are going to have so much more to talk about with the Honda Prologue, so stay tuned.